And that's why this court has asked a doctor to come here. Jerome, will you please escort Dr. Sarah Vinson into the courtroom? She is a board-certified child and adolescent psychiatrist.
Violence does not only happen on the streets, it also happens in Judge Lauren's courtroom. These parents will leave you wondering if they are even fit to have children. Here are situations where dangerous gangsters found their way into the courtroom. This was a paternity case like no other. With so much regret, Mr. Patrick appeared in court, claiming that a stranger whom he welcomed into his home out of the kindness of his heart ended up sleeping with his girlfriend. He now believes he is not the father of her twins. He opened his case by saying,
Mr. Patrick, you say 5 years ago you made a huge mistake by opening your doors to a stranger who needed a place to stay because that man betrayed you and slept with your girlfriend, Ms. Pence.
Mr. Patrick must have been a really welcoming man. The question ringing in everyone's head was about how a stranger he welcomed into his home ended up kicking it in bed with his girlfriend. In his story, he claimed that one evening, the defendant, Ms. Pence, disappeared overnight.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
Well, he stayed maybe 5 or 6 days, and he up and moved out. I questioned her. I said, wonder why he just up and left. Is it because me and you argue a lot?
Okay.
OMG, she sneaked out to sleep with the stranger? Now, that's something you don't see every day. In trying to defend herself, she claimed that Mr. Patrick always accused her of sleeping with people, even though she knew for a fact that she hadn't slept with anyone. Somehow I do not believe that, but let's give her the benefit of the doubt, shall we?
I had never slept with anyone else before that night. I had constantly.
You're so flirtatious.
That's how I was brought up. I'm constantly calling people honey and babe.
What did I tell you?
I'm from the South.
Mr. Patrick might be onto something there. Maybe the sexual tension was getting too much for them to handle. Anyway, Miss Penny was not going to deny that what she did was wrong, but she claimed that deep down in her heart, she wanted to make things right.
It seemed like you went out looking for him.
There was no specific reason as to why that guy. It was just someone at the time that was around, and it happened.
So in other words,
But he wasn't around. He had left the house.
He had, Your Honor. I was with my neighbor.
I mean, can she really blame him for thinking she's always cheating after what she did? She better cut him some slack. Judge Lauren then went on to ask her when she found out she was pregnant. Ms. Pence explained to the judge when she conceived her baby using this exhibit.
And then on August 7th is the date that the twins were born.
That don't mean that. That's a 5-day window.
It does. The doctor had said that the twins were conceived right around the 2nd of November, Your Honor. The twins were born almost completely full term.
Oh, she thought she was smart. Was she trying to hide the date she slept with a stranger from the judge? Oh well. Aside from the fact that she cheated on him, Mr. Patrick told the judge that he had other reasons that made him doubt he was not the father of the child.
What are those doubts?
I think he's ADHD or something like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't listen. He's rambunctious.
He's a little boy.
I understand
Mr.
he's a
Patrick.
little boy, and I hope he grows out of it someday, but
I'm not going to fault Judge Lauren for asking a doctor to come to the courtroom. Mr. Patrick, for some reason, felt that one of the twins had a disorder that made him feel the child was not his. This was what the doctor had to say.
Point to one gene, sometimes it's multiple genes, and sometimes it's the way that the genes interact with the environment, and sometimes the genes have nothing to do with it, and it's just something that happened during the pregnancy or during the delivery or in that child's early childhood that can affect how they learn.
From the doctor's explanation, it looks like Mr. Patrick might be wrong to claim that he is the father of just one of the twins. But one thing was certain, his doubts were affecting his relationship with Ms. Penny on a major level.
we've always had arguments over stuff.
Yes, but Your Honor,
Just
we
after
haven't.
all this
we
happened.
haven't even been had sex in probably the past 4 months. It's just a constant argument from the time that I get up until the time that I go to bed. Pretty much, it's constant argument.
You heard Mr. Patrick. If it happens that he isn't the father of the twins, he is dumping Ms. Pence's ass and leaving her with the kids. After so much talking had been done, Judge Lauren felt it was time to reveal the results of the lie detector test. This was how it played out.
Your Honor.
You were asked the following questions. During the last 10 years of your relationship with Mr. Patrick, have you had sexual contact with any other man other than the man whom you admitted to cheating with?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh wow. Ms. Penny had more skeletons in her cupboard than she was willing to tell the courtroom. After hearing those results, Judge Lauren felt it was time to reveal the DNA results and see if anything Ms. Pence said was true at all. This was her verdict.
In the case of Patrick versus Pence, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Patrick, you are the father.
I told you that you was the father. I told you.
Ms. Bailey brings her ex-husband to the courtroom to prove that he is the biological father of her child. She does admit to sleeping with multiple men, but she claims that she is certain that her ex-husband, Mr. Green, who is also the defendant, is the father of her child. Well, here's how the case begins.
Miss Bailey.
Yes, ma'am.
You state you've brought your ex-husband, Mr. Green, to court, biological father of your 9-month-old son, Lawrence.
Yes, Your Honor.
Though you freely admit to sleeping with multiple men during the time of conception.
After hearing that, it's hard not to believe Mr. Green. He claims that he has always had unprotected sex with Ms. Bailey, and she never got pregnant. All of a sudden, she claims she is pregnant, and he just isn't buying that story.
And Mr. Green, I'd like to hear you to this court. Why are you so sure?
She also admitted that she had been with somebody in February, right before she had sex
Yes,
with
Your
me
Honor.
also.
Seems like they both have different stories about what really happened. Mr. Green says that they got married and she disappeared for over a year. Ms. Bailey says that he is lying and they have been intimate even till this very day. Phew, I wonder who is lying.
Relationship. How it got to the point that you were sleeping together, but you were also with other people during the time the father of your child is. Those are the facts I need.
Okay, Judge Lauren is also in no need to play. Ms. Bailey and Mr. Green start to argue about who did this and who did that, but the judge shuts them up and tells them that all she wants to know is when the cheating started and what started it.
And windows of conception.
Okay. And then when you find out, you tell Mr. Green?
Yes, I told him I act if I find out I was pregnant, but he believed that it was his.
Enough with all the yelling for crying out loud. Getting the truth out of these two is going to be very difficult because they can't even agree on anything. Oh well. Ms. Bailey says that Mr. Green was happy about the pregnancy when she told him. Mr. Green, however, says that he never believed he was the father and also was not excited about the baby.
Alabama, when
And
I
then
was
you add
7
me-
months pregnant.
You was
and we
7
had
months
sex.
pregnant. I can't make you pregnant when you already pregnant. That's over with.
In February, we slept
Exactly.
together February, March, and May.
But Miss
Ouch. Ms. Bailey's face says it all. That statement definitely hurt. Mr. Bailey says that he always knew she was sexually involved with 2 other men. He also says that she tells him things that she thinks would make him mad, but he just doesn't care. Or could all his nonchalant attitude be a show? Maybe he does actually care.
Red hair. He's like almost white. He like.
And he still do.
Hey, look. I did some
beautiful
research.
little boy.
I did some
Thank you.
research.
I'm glad we finally get into some evidence.
Thank
in
you.
here.
Thank you. And what you're about to read is about the state.
Honestly, I am very speechless. Now, Mr. Green presents his evidence that shows the color of the child's hair. Apparently it's brown, and he believes that there is no way he and Ms. Bailey could have produced a baby with that type of hair color since they are both black.
Were you sleeping with the other 2 men without
Well, Your Honor, yes, I was. I knew what I was getting into. I knew I was going to lead to, but I figured since I never did get between the 3 years we was.
I mean, it's understandable that Mr. Green might not want to be part of the baby's life due to the fact that he doesn't think he is the father, but Ms. Bailey has no right to say that her son doesn't need to know his father. That is just wrong. Every child should know their parents.
with the various men you had sex with. On the 4th, had sex with potential father number 1 without protection. If your cycle is the next week, the following week you have sex on the 18th.
I don't think anyone was expecting him to say something like that, but let's be honest, that's one pretty crowded calendar. How Judge Lauren was able to understand the calendar is honestly a mystery to me.
Already with a woman, okay? He broke up with her to be with me, and then when Thanksgiving came, he told me he was staying with his soul. He asked me to spend a weekend with him, and I walked in, and he took me into another woman's.
Wow. Either Mr. Green's heart is made of stone, or he really doesn't believe anything that Ms. Bailey says. Point still remains that he doesn't believe that he is the father of the child. Well, we've seen enough of their yelling. The results are in, and the judge is ready for her verdict.
Case of Bailey versus Green, 9-month-old Lawrence Bailey. Mr. Green, you is his father.
This case will blow your mind. Trust me. There are 2 people with 2 different mothers present in the courtroom, claiming that the same man is their father. Crazy, right? They hope to find out the truth and finally know if the man in question is their real father. Here's how the case begins.
Demore, you claim you've known Mr. Taylor for most of your life,
Yes, Your Honor.
but he has never acknowledged you as a son.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he even left you in foster care.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Everett, you say you weren't even introduced to Mr. Taylor until you were.
Well, his reason had better be a very good one. Mr. Moore, the first plaintiff, says that he has known the defendant, Mr. Taylor, for most of his life, but Mr. Taylor has never acknowledged him as his son. The second plaintiff says that she didn't meet Mr. Taylor until she was 5, and her relationship with him was so bad that she put herself in foster care. Imagine that.
End up in foster care.
I ended up in foster care because he let me rot in foster care. He didn't care about nothing about me.
That is a strong accusation. Please describe your childhood. How did this...
Phew. You can tell that he went through a lot while growing up. What hurt the most was that his mother never told him about his father until he was out of juvenile hall, and that just made him so furious. If his dad had been around, maybe things could have been different.
I wasn't sure ever that this was my son.
You still
I
can find out,
honestly didn't know. And then all of a sudden, he's your son, he's your son, he's your son. No, Your Honor, I didn't know. So I went.
I mean, that's kind of the most human thing to do. If there was a chance that Mr. Moore was his son, there was no harm in trying to get him out of foster care. Mr. Taylor says that he never believed he was the father because his name was not on Mr. Moore's birth certificate.
Did you bring that evidence,
Yes,
sir?
Your Honor. Can I present this to you? We got the same chin, same nose, same mouth, same eyes, same head structure, all that.
On the left, of course, is a picture of you, and on the right,
He can't be serious. They look exactly alike. Mr. Taylor says that the only thing he can see is the fact that they have the same complexion. Aside from that, there's nothing showing that Mr. Moore is his son.
What did his mother say to you? What did she tell
His
you?
mother said to me, now this is years later. This isn't when the child was born. This is that might be your son.
Were you ever told she was even pregnant?
She came and told me she was living with me.
Oh, I think we see what's going on now. Apparently Mr. Taylor and Mr. Moore's mother weren't in a relationship. She cheated on her boyfriend with Mr. Taylor and eventually went back to her boyfriend. She told Mr. Taylor that she was pregnant, and he felt that since she went back to her boyfriend, it was his child.
Ms. Twyman,
Yes.
please tell us what you know about this situation, Mr. Moore's upbringing, and how can you add?
Mr. Moore's mother is my sister.
Okay.
Okay. My sister told me that Mr. Taylor.
That changes the whole dynamic of things. Ms. Twyman, who happens to be Mr. Moore's mother's sister, says that Mr. Moore's mother told her that there was no way that Mr. Taylor could be Mr. Moore's father. Phew. At this point, I think we need to see the results. That's the only way to move forward.
And as to whether Mr. Taylor is his biological father, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Taylor, you are his father. Mr. Taylor, I can see you have tears in your eyes.
That's sweet. It's good that he feels bad and is ready to make amends for being absent from his son's life. It doesn't end there, though. Now we have to get to the second plaintiff. Could Mr. Taylor also be the father? Let's find out.
Explain to the court, what was life like for you growing up?
I never had a father figure in my life. I didn't meet Mr. Taylor until I was 5 years old. He came to my house in Philadelphia.
Wow. Who does that to a child? That would definitely have shattered her heart as a child. Ms. Everett tells the judge that her mother introduced her to Mr. Taylor as her father. After the introduction, Mr. Taylor said he would come back, but he never showed up until she was 14 years old.
To begin with, let me explain in the beginning. Her mother, lived with me for a month. She left, and I didn't see her no more. And then the next time you see me, you got a baby and you saying it's mine. And right after that,
now it's starting to make sense. Mr. Taylor says that he knew that her mother was sleeping with other men, and that made him doubt he was the father. He also says that he was incarcerated for a while, and that's why he never came back to see Ms. Everett.
Friends went to amusement parks. I didn't go to parks. I didn't go to family reunions. I didn't go to no type of anything. It was nowhere in the picture.
Your Honor,
from 5 to 14 years old.
I wasn't in the picture is because I had all the doubts.
Man, I think we can understand why Ms. Everett initially said that she took herself to foster care. She explains to the judge that Mr. Taylor and his daughter treated her badly, and they never made her feel like she was part of their family.
Say I'm at the bus station. Did you know she was coming?
No.
What?
No. The next thing I know, here she is. I got to enroll her in school. As soon as she got there, I could see why she came. She was disruptive.
That was honestly a lot. At some point, I cut emotional listening to Mr. Taylor as he poured out his heart. He says that he had no idea that Ms. Everett was coming to stay with him. He took her in, and she became a pain in his ass. Looks like he is a good man after all.
It was 2 people on the birth certificate. When I took it back to the state building said to me that it was a computer error. So
a computer
wait a minute.
error, nothing.
Wait, there's 2 people on your birth certificate?
It was 2 people at the time. It was just a word named Michael.
That's a first. Ms. Everett says that when she went to initially pick up her birth certificate, there were 2 names on it, Mr. Taylor and some other man who she didn't know. Well, Mr. Taylor says he never saw any of those birth certificates and still believes he is not the father.
way to figure out whose name should rightfully be on that birth certificate is to get the results. Jerome, I'm ready.
I couldn't agree more. This courtroom has seen a lot of heat, and it's time to put an end to the unending fire. Judge Lauren is ready to read the results. Let's see if Mr. Taylor is also the father to Ms. Everett.
In the case of Moore Everett v. Taylor, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Taylor, you are her father.
As you will have it, here's another relationship about to hit a brick wall. Ms. Polzin appears in court and has brought her partner, Mr. Callender, to court with the hopes of saving what's left of their relationship. She hopes to prove to the court and Mr. Callender that the babe belongs to him. Well, here's how it all begins.
Ms. Polzin, you've summoned Mr. Callender to court in hopes of salvaging what is left of your relationship. You say he denies your daughter Zoe, but today you intend to prove paternity. Is that correct?
Apparently, Mr. Callender loves the child. He says he has built a bond with her that's almost inseparable, but he just can't seem to erase the fact that Ms. Polzin has a pattern of sleeping with several men.
Question it.
Yes, ma'am. It's like a dark cloud hovering over us, keeping us, I think it's preventing us from moving forward. Just the uncertainty, not knowing 100% that I'm her father.
Do you feel that dark cloud?
Yes, Your Honor, and it...
After hearing that, trust me, you can tell that these guys are holding on by a thread. They definitely love each other and their baby girl, but Mr. Callender just needs to be certain the baby belongs to him. I wonder how they got themselves into such a mess.
We went our separate ways, and I've gotten long-term relationships, and my last long-term relationship, we were having hard times towards the end of it. It was about 9 years, and he hit me up on Facebook, Mr. Callender did.
Is it just me, or are there some loopholes in that story? Apparently, Ms. Polzin was in a relationship with someone else when she reunited her feelings for Mr. Callender. The crazy thing is, they were also kicking it in bed while she was still in a relationship. Sounds fishy, right?
Well, it was about a week after she had moved into her apartment after getting most of her things out of the residence.
A week?
But I was only having sexual contact with Mr. Callender. Me and my ex were living in separate rooms. We had a lot of
Remember when I said their story sounded fishy? Well, I guess you know why. Mr. Callender tells the judge that Ms. Polzin told him she was pregnant a week after she had moved out of her previous partner's apartment. That definitely doesn't add up.
He shows up with soup and a teddy bear because she's sick, but how did he know that she was sick if they haven't been communicating?
Soup and a teddy bear?
He would bring me flowers to work and left a soup and a teddy bear.
Ha! Even Judge Lauren isn't buying her story. Mrs. Polzin tells the court that she wasn't sleeping with her ex-partner. Now, if she wasn't sleeping with her ex-partner, how did he know she was sick? And why did he bring her soup and a teddy bear? Oh, she has a lot of explaining to do.
And I'd seen that his number was in there, and just out of curiosity, I clicked on it, and it said they had conversations for 30 minutes, another one for an hour, and I asked her about it.
Now the cat is out of the bag and it's about to blow up in her face. Ms. Polzin never told Mr. Callender that her ex-partner brought her soup and a teddy bear when she was sick. It came up when they were having an argument. If I were in his shoes, I probably wouldn't believe a single thing she says after that.
Me too. It was like a kick to the chest.
And so then your doubts started spinning.
Yes, and a week or two after that, she was in contact with her ex, and
I mean, can you really blame him for having doubts? It told him she wasn't having sex with her ex-partner. Why in heaven's name would he then ask if the baby belongs to him? Man, Ms. Polzin sure knows how to keep secrets.
As you were getting the last few things out of your house, he had made the comment, you said that he would ask for one last shebang.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did.
But you declined?
No, of course I declined. I had been over that relationship for a very long time.
With a look on her face, I'm sorry, but I do not believe a single word that's coming out of her mouth for real. There are so many loopholes with what she's saying, and she just doesn't seem like a truthful person.
Baby Zoe, do you believe your son is her biological father?
I hope and pray that he is. We have a very strong bond.
And I can see how emotional that makes you.
You can see it in her face. Mr. Callender's mother wants the baby to be her son's child. She tells Judge Lauren that they've built a strong bond with the child and she doesn't want that bond to break the child's heart.
Can withstand the realization that Zoe is not your son's biological child?
I don't believe it would.
So you believe if she's not his, this relationship is over?
Yes, ma'am.
There's definitely a lot at stake for everyone in the courtroom. Is Mr. Callender going to end up as the father of the child? I guess the DNA results are going to reveal the truth.
To Zoe Callender, It has been determined by this court, Mr. Calendar, you are the father.
This case begins with Ms. Smith telling the courtroom that her daughter could have 3 potential fathers. Yup, you heard that right. She hopes to find out the truth and right her wrongs so her child could have a better future.
Love your 1-year-old daughter, Tamia, and say you're hoping your mistakes don't ruin her life. Now, at this moment, you claim she has 3 possible fathers. You've requested results of multiple.
Well, at least she's being honest about her situation. She told the judge straight up that while in her 8-year relationship, she messed around, and she did this because she was going through a rough time with her husband.
But it's somebody in the hall waiting on. It's a man in the hallway who took a DNA test.
Wives and several girlfriends.
But this is the question. You say he's your go-to guy. Well, how many other men were you going
Exactly.
Only one. Me and my husband tried for years,
only
and we
reason-
could not.
Ow! Seems like Mr. Bailey and Ms. Smith love to kick it in bed. Mr. Bailey denies it, but Ms. Smith claims that they had sex in every house they found during their house hunt. Talk about 2 people who love being in their spaces. This is a perfect example.
Who did you tell that you were pregnant and that they were the father?
I told.
She told both of us.
No,
Me and him
I did
actually
not.
stayed in my
I did
car
not tell him. He
when I
don't
was staying in
even
Rome,
know.
Georgia.
He don't
We were
even
sitting in the
know.
car. I picked him up
He
because he
don't
was
even
walking.
All they want to do is talk over each other. Glad the judge told them to bring their volumes down. It was almost as if my ears were about to explode from all their yelling.
One night stand with you
Yes,
during
ma'am.
the window of conception, and you potentially could be her daughter's biological father.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think you had a one-night stand, or you don't think it was during the window of conception, or you don't think...
Now that is one hilarious reply from Judge Lauren. He sure needs to check his math. He claims he slept with Ms. Smith during the window of conception, but says he is sure he isn't a possible father to the baby. I wonder how that works.
I need to hear from you. When did you first hear about Tamia?
About 2 months ago, the girl that I met her through came to see me, and she brought her and the child and another child.
Oh, wow. I mean, if that's how things really played out, I would honestly think it was a joke or some type of prank. I'm on his side. If Ms. House Smith really thought he was the father, she should have done better with the way she broke the news to him.
Well, I have a medical condition. I was diagnosed with leukemia in 2009.
Glad to see you're well.
Yeah, I take chemo pills, and my doctor told me that if I did have children, that they'd have severe birth defect.
One thing I love about this man is that he has enough proof to back up his claim. Seems like finding out the father of the child is turning into a mystery. I wonder what's going to happen next in the courtroom.
In the same house together. She sat me, his older sister, and her. We sat in the same kitchen together while the older sister was perming her hair, and she was telling me and the sister, oh, y'all need to get some of these men up here, this, that, and the other. You know, basically telling us how many people she's messing with down from Rome to Atlanta.
Does the yelling end? At this point, I think the only way out is to reveal the results from the DNA test. Well, here they come.
Of Smith versus Bailey Anderson, pertaining to whether Mr. Bailey or Mr. Anderson is the father of 1-year-old Tamia Smith. It has been determined that the biological father is Mr. Bailey.